Great and beautiful morning, afternoon, and evening to you all, wherever you are joining me at this moment. I said, welcome to 150th edition of Investdata Trading Academy live with Ambrose. Yes, at the direction of the market, globally, I would say it remains on a mixed direction. Some climate, some matured market are in red, while some are started extending their gain they did yesterday on Tuesday this morning. Just tell you that this trend will continue. And like I said last time, that the factors driving this volatility and sentiment in the market remain intact. For you as an investor, it's not time for you to pack away from the market, but rather change your strategy and apply all I will be teaching in this platform by what by always using your stop loss, have your entry and your exit strategy and your profit target. Don't be carried away with any uptrend, either individual stock or the market at general. That means you need to understand why you are in the market, and this also guide you. Yes, if the market is making lower lows, in your own climate where you are as you speak now, you can see that the global economy is also, a bit threatened by high interest rate. And if you know the environment we are, you know the particular sectors and individual stocks that have capacity, you can play defense with such such companies or sector. That is where you should be. And also at the same time, once you are buying into equity, like I said earlier, because you have what you have your stop loss, you have your what your profit target, you always be mindful of what your decision so that this don't you always also take emotion away from what from your decision. It's very, very important to note at this point. Yes, as we speak now, I will tell you that the mature market opened missed this Thursday trading morning. We are seeing some market open higher and also some are still missed on the impact or the sentiment for OPEC output cut, and at the same time the falling job market numbers in US, and also this also what is likely, as I said yesterday, to prompt what will happen going to the future as regard what rate hike. These are what people are saying that as we're also looking forward to see another macroeconomic data or reports from US and other client. These are the things that are driving the market now. It's expected that if the unemployment rate or number continue to increase, that also will trigger the central banks of different climate to make sure that what they create employment. And how do you create employment? You create employment by making resources available to the economy, to the operators in the economy, to the private sector or to the economy. Let me use that because in some economy you know that the rate of borrowing is not as compared to others. That means you look at what is driving your own inflation rate. We know that generally distortion has also driving, but I think some climate or some country have peculiar issues with their own strategy. In those climates where they've been dishing out intervention in terms of during COVID-19, they have to have excess liquidity in their system. Plus, what is happening, the distortion as regard the Ukraine and Russia war, all this also. Then if they are increasing their rate, we understand. But in environment where you have a cost push, all these things we'll be looking at. That will also inform the kind of decision each of the central bank will take. But we have seen that all central banks across the globe, where the big one like look at what is happening in EU, what is happening in US, what is happening in Switzerland, and also these are the things we are seeing that is very. If they also slow down, we're likely to see a slowdown what in rate. That also give economy to breathe out because now that we're seeing they assume that the economy is too strong. That's why inflation is rising and all those. So that's why they're hiking rate to control that. But now that also we're seeing a sign of weakness because of unemployment, I said yesterday that they have to major start with their role, responsibility, price stability, and work, and also to create what to create employment. If that okay, if we are seeing number of unemployment data looking down, that tells you that something is it's wrong. Employment area looking at something is wrong. For that, they like also to create more additional job. That also drive the market. As all eyes and what on macroeconomic data, that also data or reports that will give direction where we should go from here. Another thing is that because oil price also have kind of rebound above $90 like we saw yesterday. Today as we speak now, oil is trading around the $93.66 per barrel, and this has a lot of what the output cost and also this is also another measure of 13 of 13. And don't forget that this was season for what for heat up to summer. No, but that all this we're expecting that this will remain until things also start finding its level. Oil price is naturally to stay above $100, which I've said separately. But just as investor, this also be driving market up and down. And the good thing is that you as a trader also keep your eyes on all these instruments, all these and commodity. They have way of changing what is happening in the market. As we speak now, US market, I'll tell you, it closed this on Wednesday lower, but this morning I'm about to open, also seeing a kind of green light there. But I'll tell you, in Europe market, I'll tell you, Euro market and Asia market are really strong this morning. They open strong this morning, which is good as we speak now. While African market is still mixed, and here back here, in Nigeria NGS as we speak now is slightly in red. At this moment, it opened in green early hour of trading today. But at this midday, we are seeing that so at the end also slightly in red because of what market reaction toward to this continuous rise in interest rate and inflation hitting 17 years high. And don't also forget that also the mismatch in policy as naira continue to work to devalue or to fall. These are things that are that's why what we said last time that it is time for our economic managers and policymakers to rethink their decision so that they will not plunge the economy back again into another recession if care is not taken. I believe that these are why see many investors also see the trade looking at where to go. But the good news for investors that to speak now, as the market is in this direction, one thing we're also looking at, okay, let's see, two major things that we're looking at the earnings as it come, and also the seasonality that will come at the end of the year. But don't forget that liquidity is a major fundamental for any market. And you know that because of high interest rates, we will have less liquidity in the market. But we believe that when those that are funds are coming back to the market to take advantage of this low price we're seeing, as we speak now across all the sectors, we're seeing that prices are becoming cheaper as reflected by what their PE ratios we're seeing and also their earnings yield. That is true that we might see the PFAs or coming back to the market. But I believe that this morning you can see that the Treasury bill market or physical market is also mixed. Treasury bill market is flat, while we're seeing a little inch upward in yield for the bonds around 13 point something for 5 per day. Even at this point, you can see that look at what is happening in inflation. So then also all eyes are on September inflation to come next week. I was also looking forward to see the Q3 corporate action to kick off from next week. These are factors we are seeing that you might drive the market. But what you will do now as an investor that as the market is making this sideways movement under a decline phase, you should also make sure that you are buying into company that has all it takes to rebound. Because I tell you, whether the market is coming down, the sector and individual stock assets, they will lead this market up or further down. I mean, if those sectors are likely to also economic news are another factor that can change the trend of the market. That's why all eyes are toward of macroeconomic data across the globe to see what is going to come out. These are what will trigger an uptrend from here. But I believe that investors should also look into the market very well because I believe that in the next 6 months, is a very critical period for the market. Even Nigeria here or outside the shore of Nigeria. Why I say so? Nigeria will have an election in February. Why in the mature market like US, they also they have made the election this period, within these 6 months. That means it will determine where the market will go from here, from that political angle, and at the same time, like I said, the corporate earnings is very, very key. That means every trader investor market, you look at where can you stay put in this market, be able to preserve your capital and grow it gradually to make sure that when the market rebound, I will tell you where the stock market is going. I will can't predict that because the kind of upsurge we'll see after the election will be here. But between now and then, actually, you have to take what invest in booster because we are seeing that prices are already cheap. And then if you want to take what we call average investing, you need to know what to do as we speak now. Because if I tell you all that will happen within now and that the next 6 months, the market will surprise everyone. That is in the market because the state of performance will likely cannot be comprehended after the election. For that, you should know how to start positioning yourself as a trader or investor in the market. It's very, very important. Yes, before we go to look at the state of the market, I want to quickly look at how to use a trend line to make informed decision as a trader in the market. Yes, I've been using that thing, but today I want to also put your eye to see this trend line, the importance of trend line at this hour, so that you can see how to use trend line also to take decision. What this trend line are saying at each time we are using it or we are drawing it, what it stands for, because the trend line will help you to form what we call a channel, And for that channel, we also look at what we call the what I call the willingness of what of traders or investors to follow a higher price or a lower price. These are the words that we want to use here, because it is when you see a stock touching the upper band or the upper trend line, that is the usually say that it is for me that is the strong word, the strong support point at that particular time, because that is becoming a kind of a resistance for you. But when you look at the the present the downline too, you want to look at what is there. Is it that that side is the spirit of what or the supply side? Because I told you earlier that trading is all about what supply and demand. And if you're able to understand this trading supply and demand, even the gap that will come and reversal that will come, it is the imbalance in the demand and supply that will create that supply that upsurge or downsurge. For that, you need to understand where is the market going to, where is the trend line. The trend line is at the point I've said. Is it an uptrend line or downtrend line? This also form your decision so that you know exactly what to do what at that particular time. Yes, quick one before we call up other indicator. We want to look at this trend line we're just discussing. I think I've tried to draw a line now in this class, but today we want to discuss the power of this trend line that we've been using for now. Yeah, you can see this trend line here down here. You can see for yourself at this point. Then another one, this trend line, the way it is now, because it touched 1, 2, 3 points, it makes a trend line because it must connect 2 points at a time. And this one, you can see that it is above the price action or index action. It tells you this is what a downtrend line, a downtrend line. But also when you bring, I think for those that are in this class, I think you will also be following. But we want to make it to because I want to achieve something with it this morning. This is also a downtrend line. But this has formed what we call a channel. I've been using this language, this channel for what? This is a down trend, a bearish channel. But if you have a trend line like this from here, let me take it from here, from this point. Let it touch here. Fine. Good. You can see this an uptrend line. You can see touch here, 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 almost 3 points, an uptrend line. Then if you take another one like here again, from here, let's for example take from this point here. That's that it's also connected what to 3.1, 2 here, 3 here. This also what called a bullish channel. You can see this is an uptrend, this is a downtrend. But the good thing is that this in between this channel, there's activities that are that you need to pay attention to. Why don't you pay attention to? Because channel have been formed now, and what is to have a whether a long-term pattern or a short-term pattern within the channel that also give you a key signal for reversal or continued trend, which you want to know also. You see here, this is a strong resistance level. If you know that market today for this year, I'll tell you that the market low for this year is around the 38,858.99 for the market low, and also market high is at this point that's about the 54,000 84,085.30. That's this is the peak, and market got to this peak here. It's continuing to start trend. But as speak now, markets around the 48,819, around that the 800 and the 1719. That is what market is doing at this point. You can see where we are coming from, where the market is coming from this year till this hour. Then look at also where is the trend. You see this downtrend, it touched here, this was down here, up, came down here, it's making, you can see it's coming down, try to start, didn't touch up here again, it didn't get, there's a weak momentum, come down, touch this here, it went up almost touching here before it tried to make also a down trend close to the trend line, but it didn't work, cross over. It has not come down to this one to say yes, we're also saying this is a lower low, but we can see what we're saying now at this point. It tells you that what you as an investor to look at, that the top this channel top we're seeing are known as what are the supply line, as I've said earlier at the beginning. These are the supply line to watch, and it represents the area of where supply generally where general supply is at the peak, and that is where it exists. At this point, supply is high, and for that price start coming down, there's no what demand. And they say that these are the peak of what are the peak of supply. And generally to profit, profit taking also taking at this point. That's why you see that once it developed at this point, it shows that something happened here. People took profit, it came down. Even when tested it, people don't. That means this supply line is where profit taking activity is also expected to continue, and that means where it developed. And also, if you look at the downline again, you can see that as a trader investor, you want to know the relationship between the price and also and the trend line at this point. The price at the trend line, what point will the price get to, and it will slow down, and that is where this top. And that's why I tell you that when you are trading technical analysis, you get to the top, you want to look at what is the volume and also what is the strength of the momentum. That is it likely to break out there or not. That's why you must know the relationship between what the price and what and the trend line and the channel top after what after an important you have seen a strength or a weakness within that period, because within the channel within the trend you are seeing where there's weakness and failure to break out or to push out this line here. It says that the market is equally weak, and that's why it's called what the channel top, and it's also a warning point of what a change in what in trend, because whenever I get here it always what make a U-turn. That is what you should know, that yes, as far the market is within the channel, that means nothing serious has changed in the market until it break out from the channel and continue uptrend. And also when it break this down one and continue here, that tells you that yes. Also, you can look at this point. At this point, this is the point we saw also demand. People taking ball after it can pull back to this point, take time. That's why you need to understand it. Move the index action or press action with what the trend line. At this point, why the position taking a touch here? That means these are the point the buyers are willing to take price position and the price going up, start buying. But when it come again, it didn't touch it, almost there. You can see this is why you need to understand how to use this resistance line and also support line. Also, it's called a support line. Yes, we're creating a channel. Can also be liking as well more of also connecting the support and the resistance line at any different point. You need to understand the magnitude between this trend and also the trend line, so that it will help you to understand how to use trend line to connect what to connect where you should also take position, or also when you should drop out of the market. That's why understanding trend line also will also give you a sign of what we call some of overbought region, and that is also how to do with what the supply line. Why, as I said earlier, when you see the downward line, also will give you an insight of what is expected for you to do. These are the ways to understand how to trade work with trend line, because that line at a particular time you have seen that at that overbought level is what where you have what supply line. That is where at this point people are tired to trade. That's why the price go. But when you go down and see the what we call here the another line here, this is what we call demand line. At this point where people are also willing to take position also as a trader or investor. Once you're able to marry these two lines together, you're able to estimate which one is the primary trend line or the secondary trend line. You can see there's a primary trend line of an uptrend here, which you can see here. There's also a primary trend line that is what a down there. You need to understand how to relate the primary line where the general market is going, or the chart you are looking at, for you to understand when exactly to jump in or jump out of what out of your position. Also, don't forget that the candlestick formation, each candle also single a lot, will tell you a lot that to say, oh, the bull is in charge or the bear is in charge. Or yeah, market is coming down. You are seeing a chart that tell you they are likely here the buyers are taking charge, or why the seller are taking charge. Once you're able to relate with all these, you go a long way to know how to work, to take position with your what with your chart and your trend line. That's why I say let me explain how to use trend line today. We might continue that tomorrow, but also for you to have an idea that where trend line of course I see when it move on uptrend here too. When it get to this level, it move back up here down. I said it from there, touch here again. It came there, didn't come to this level. Go to the level here before it continue, before it started coming down. You can see it changed the trend. At this point, you should know. And you can see that the volume here it also give you a sign. Look at the volume we're seeing here and where the trend started changing. You can see it here. It was excessive volume before it started seeing big volume and market started coming in that direction. You can see it here. You can also look at where you are seeing this big volume, where you saw that the market has an uptrend. You can see that the volume from here, you can see that it's relatively above the traded volume. You can see it from the black line that all these volumes are high. These are the importance of volume when the market is going down. Also, when I comment down, you can see that volume has been not too much, because also we are not seeing much. But you can do that small value, from volume can equally bring market down. But you see big volume coming down. When you see that this is not investor are good, what we are saying now from the volume so far in the market, you can even agree that the institutional investors are still watching the market. They've not really out of the market. They are still in their position. If they are selling out, we are seeing volume, much volume coming out. But let's keep our finger crossed. Yeah, this is for the market as we speak now. Let's quickly look at the state of the market at this hour. I told you I want to look at the trend there. For as we speak now, the market is doing 48,000. Yes, let's quickly go there so I can see what I'm saying. Market is doing 48,000. No, 48,800 and 827, which is good. As market has turned slightly, also slightly, little thing in red. As we speak now, for me, it's a good one. As we speak, market is now about like 6.95, basic point, representing about 0.01% down as we speak. But I can also deduce that the market as we speak is a negative, marketing breadth because we're having 11 losers at this hour and just 5 gainers as to speak. And as to speak, the stock leading the losers is the same. Stock that gained yesterday again. Like this week now, on Monday it was down. Today, yesterday was up. Today is up again. Down today. This Restal Express. Restal Express when the market opened for the week, it was down. Yesterday rebounded. This morning as we speak now, this hour it's also losing. Followed by Union Bank, which is the UPN. You can see Japan Gold, I see ICO Insurance and NGS Group. NGS Group are among the stocks that are on the decline. I told you that these are 11 stocks that are declining this hour. But on the flip side, if you look at the stocks that are gaining, yes, Geregu Power Plant, Power PSC that was listed yesterday, at 100 naira. Today is gaining almost another 9.9%. Yes, I would say investors that are eager to enter this stock, but I believe that it's not available in the market. But I would advise the sell patient to see how far this stock will go. If you look at the similar stock that are in that same business, what are they selling today? That also should open your eyes to know where you should be investing. For value is very, very important. And how do you know value? Look at price. And most times when a stock is overpriced, there are also similar places to know that this stock is overpriced. We want to see how far it will go. But as we speak now, it's not leading the market. Despite gaining almost 10%, I would say that the market is slightly in red. I can tell you this is part of the stock that supported the market to have remained in this stable, but saw what impact it made on the market cap yesterday when it was listed. Followed by Qtis, we're seeing Sterling Bank, and the Zenith Bank, and the Fixing Healthcare. These are the 5 gainers as we speak. I said we're having a negative market breadth of 11 losers and 5 gainers. If you look at the volume chart, which is very, very key to every investor or trader that want to take decision, we're seeing that Sterling Bank is leading the pack there for top trade volume. For now, it's a Sterling Bank, followed by GT Code, Zenith Bank, Transcorp, and Beregu Power. These are the ones that are leading that pack. But investors should not be carried away with what is happening in the market, but let your investment objective guide you and know where to be. Yes, say because of the funds are moving toward the physical market. Let's move on to see what inflation for the month of September will look like. That will also tell you where funds will likely go further into the year. Because I said it earlier, either in this class or the last week, that yet if you are taking you are bought into the treasury for 364 days, as at the last option that it moved to almost 12%, gaining about change about 2.25 from 9.75, it moves to almost 12. For me, it tells you that investors should also know that at this point, when you are taking your principal at the end of the course, they are paying upfront as at you are going for the bank to do your TDB. When your money can work with the value of your money, but if you are in stocks that can also help you to protect your capital and still grow your capital, that is more better than others. But for those that don't want to take risks, also want to do analysis that I'm in stock that give me good dividend yield, I also stock that are likely to rebound, not stock that the price is high and likely to move forward, rather come down and the yield is very low. You need to also balance this analysis when you are taking your investment decision. Is very, very key. Yes, let's call up our C line, our indicators now to look at what is happening in the market now. Let's look at the indicators to tell us the state of the market in terms of movement and also in terms of action. Let's take our, I think you understand all the momentum indicators are used here. Let's take our stochastic oscillator. Let's take that oscillator to see what is happening there. Then let's also take our C line. Let's take our C line and our money flow. These are very, very important. C line and money flow. So we won't travel the chart to make decision. These ones are okay for us at this point. Yes, we have seen the line we drawn here already. You can see there here, but look at the market now. Let's quickly look at what the market is doing actually at now. Where is it with our T line? Because it's very, very important to know. You can see that the market is still what in red, as I've said earlier. Still now for the last 3 trading days. Today making trading for this week after the holiday, market has been in red. You can see it here. Even as we speak now, you can see that the T line is getting far from what the next action. That's also what we should also keep our eyes. You can see it here that this is the position of the market now. Below the T line, sign of weakness. These are what the market is saying as we speak. Also, if you look at your momentum indicator, volume is still low as we speak now. These are the point that yes, momentum is weak, waiting for what to confirm trend to the drive. When you see momentum moving up, that is where you can see that trend cannot move. Now, momentum and price are moving in the same direction to show that market is generally weak. Also, if I look at money flow try to look up very light, small, but still weak because it's within around 20.94 around 2019. This is far, far away from 50. Still weak that front is not entering the market. Like I said, liquidity is key in this kind of market now for you to make any uptrend and downtrend. Then, because of our time, let's look at what the market is doing. Let's look at individual stock. Want to look at the continued fall of GT code. Is there any no stop in sight? I want to look at what the chart is saying. Like I think I reviewed last time. I want to see it to say let's see what one. Look at Zenith Bank, and let's look at this Union Bank that also have joined the rally down, pull back. And is it the end of NGS rally from the low of 17? Want to look at what the chart is telling us. Are we seeing a sign that 15 is making an uptrend? These are the things we want to look at. Sterling Bank can still look at it. What for that of there's no chart to look at it, but just a little bit instead. But let's look at these ones I've mentioned, about 5 of them on 6 week. We want to look at GTCO, but we'll start with fixing and NGS, because I think we'll look at others, but let's start with fixing and NGS and UBN, then look at where they are going at this point. Let's start with fixing from the chart here above. Start for fixing. You can see fixing chart here now at this power. This on the chart, you can see that fixing is below the T line on the day chart, but we're seeing small strength, trying to see the blue one crossing the red one up was still very low, and it might be a sign we're seeing that our money flow is also looking down for fixing. So that fixing is also looking for a trigger also. For the price, I've shown a sign that gaining slightly this morning, but let's look at the 1 hour chart for fixing. On the 1 hour chart, you can see that it's just going up and down here. You can see what it's telling us. The same pattern we see on the day chart, that's what we're seeing here. And we're seeing money for them to look up a little. Now, let's see how far it go. If this is a beginning of a new trend, but we need to consider until break out the T line up before we can jump in for we trade that. Because we don't want to go risk our money, we want to confirm the trend before we take that position. That's why you always look at your T line when you are taking your investment decision. But if you want to look at this stock in a week chart, what will it tell you in a week chart for you to know exactly? Yes, it's a day chart, but you should also consider from what we're seeing. I can see that the stock are remaining above the T line all this while. I can see, but now it's also trading below the T line as we speak. I can see that you can see that the momentum here on the weekly chart is already weak. Despite money flow is still really high, you can see where it's coming down on to make an uptrend. These are the things we also want to consider when we're taking an investment decision. Let's look at what is happening. NGS now. NGS. NGS. That NGS group. See what is happening there. This is the end of the rally. Yes, on the weekly chart, it appears good, above the T line. But let's look at the day chart, because that is very, very important, because this is a day trading we're seeing. You can see that as we speak, it has tested the T line again. They are not there. You can see this yesterday, it showed a sign of weakness already, and after this strong bullish candle here. You can see, and actually, don't forget that you can see strong support resistance level here and here, which is always approaching it before this know, U-turn we're seeing here. You can already see that there's already a sign. The momentum remains high, even when we're seeing a sign of downtrend already confirmed by the momentum, but still, because momentum is still above 80, for me, still okay. So let's keep our eye. But profit taking, go ahead and take profit, because unless the number we saw in Q2 was sustained and sustained to see the type of earnings we see compared to the price, that will also give confidence. Well, but I think if you're taking profit at this time, can take profit and come back and enter again either after the Q3 or later in the year. But those that have entered to 17 naira, I don't see why you are still in that position if you are not taking your profit, because we are there to make, we are not there to hold the stock and manage the stock. Take your profit as you speak. Let's look at the 1 hour chart for the stock. 1 hour chart stock, what we're saying, there's green sign here, but as super nice that close above the T line in terms of 1 hour chart. Money flow is also strengthened down here. Let's keep our finger crossed for the stock. Really, for profit takers, for those that want to buy, stay side patient, not to drop at this price. Let's look at the UBN. What is UBN doing here at this moment? This stock has, I see UBN now on the 1 hour chart. You can see, yes, very nice. You can see this point here. Now it has always gone above the T line, but not changed. You can see where it is. The strong support level here and here. That's where it is now. Around 685, 675, that is where it is now. It's at a strong support level here. But now you can see that where it is, no matter why I touch here, up here, we can see the right price now as we speak. But let's look at this chart for UBN. Yes, here you can see sign of weakness already. You can see the momentum coming down to the shaded area, and you can see this trend here. For me, let's keep our finger crossed as we speak. It's below the T line now. At this point, our money flow is still strong around next 87. Good, but let's keep our finger crossed for UBN. Then quick one, let's look at your Sterling Bank, or look at what is happening in Sterling Bank. Sterling, Sterling Bank. Okay, Sterling Bank in Nigeria. Okay, let's quickly look at another one for that one. Sorry for that. I didn't get the picture on the stock I needed on the radar. But let's look at what GTQ, how low GTQ can do from this one. Yes. Is it trending and possible? Very well. Can see for what I'm seeing on the day chart, yes, you might see that the stock has remained below the T line, but we're seeing some move where we're seeing how to work this momentum chart very well. Here at this point, we're seeing a similar formation here. That's why when it forms this formation and make up, we didn't see that change in price. But we're seeing the same move after this point here again. If that might see something, that's why the number of the quick trade number will determine exactly what to come out from this point. That's why we need to also keep our finger crossed, for the stock at this hour. Yes, because of our time is fast spent. I will say thank you for your time today, for spending this 30 minutes with us. We appreciate you. Like I always say, I encourage you to look at our YouTube. Let me subscribe to our YouTube for updates. You will be getting alerted in your email, and also you make free to make comment and also suggest what you want to learn more on that, and also go to the site, our site, and also see what to read. Feel free to call us. Any question, you are very free to ask, and we are there to provide you an answer. Thank you for your time. I will say enjoy the rest of your trading day for today.